But what we came to notice was like at the top of these hills, right? At the very, very top of these hills, they had trees, but the trees were only, 20, 25 feet tall. They weren't huge trees, right? And like we start looking around and there was this one tree and we followed it all the way down, but this one tree that freaking was taller than any of them. And I was like, damn, that's a super big tree. Really blessed day. But I wanted to tell you guys a story. It was pretty freaking cool. We were going through this national forest, and we're seeing all these hills, like tons of hills, tons of like mountains and stuff. And what we came to notice, and I think this goes along with life as well, but what we came to notice was like at the top of these hills, right? At the very, very top of these hills, they had trees, but the trees were only, 20, 25 feet tall. They weren't huge trees, right? And like we start looking around and there was this one tree and we followed it all the way down, but this one tree that freaking was taller than any of them. And I was like, damn, that's a super big tree. And we go and look for the bottom of this tree and we end up finding it. It's crazy. Can you pull up the photo? We end up finding this tree. It's at the bottom of this hill and it's outgrowing all these trees at the top. But not only that, not only did it outgrow all these trees at the top, because the trees at the top obviously were keeping the sun from it, all that kind of stuff, right? But not only that, this tree had to grow through. So where these trees were at the top, they were in obviously good soil. Everything was gravy for them, and they didn't grow that tall. But this tree down at the bottom, it grew through I wonder if they can see this. Let's find out. Boom. I'll pull that up again.
Yep.
It grew through. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it like straight grew through the rock. And so all of it's like,
there's no soil.
Yeah, there's like no soil whatsoever, but it found a way to make its way through this rock and down into the soil, and a way to outgrow all these other trees around it, right?
It was strong.
And so I think this goes with our lives. I think some of you struggle more than others, right? But understand that struggle pays off as long as you continue to keep pushing, right? That struggle pays off. You're going to be like that strong tree that outgrows all of them, grows bigger than all of them, grows through more pain, right? More pain, more gain is really at the end of the day. And that tree proves that. It's not just in, outdoor life that we can associate this with. You can see this a lot, even in some of the students that are in here. Some of the students that were down to their last fucking dollar, down to their, like, couldn't even make their rent next month. And you see those students are the ones that are just blowing up, right? They're taking that massive imperfect action. They're putting in the work, and they're outgrowing all those people that don't need it, right? If you don't need it, you kind of just sit back. You don't really make this a reality. You don't really put the time or effort into it. But if you need it, if it's something that you have to fight for and you have to go through that pain for, you guys all make it a reality. And so